I've had an incredibly busy week, and it's given me pause to stop and think about what I really, really want out of this. And the answer is, I haven't quite figured it out yet. Welcome to the Chronicles of Shred. This is episode 21. The episode is tentatively titled, Oh shit, was that today? It is currently just about 9 o'clock, and I always try to have the podcast live by 11 a.m. on Wednesday, so I've got about 2 hours to push this out, let's say. What is the main idea of today? I have no notes. I really am not even 100% sure where I'm going with this. But I have noticed a pattern, and let me tell you what kicked off the pattern. So my original band, our bass player is the most advanced in age of the rest of us, and he this year is retiring from his job and has decided that he is done with the band as well. And to be fair, the band is a lot of work and not a lot of reward. We play a handful of shows a year. Granted, they're great shows, but it's a lot of prep, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of money. You know, we don't get paid. We most of the time have to pay out of our pockets to do it in the name of building a reputation, building a name for ourselves, and we have some of that. Not enough to pay the bills, but we do have a name out there. And as you get more tired in life, as I have come to discover, it feels like a lot. And so we have a new guy that I recommended. He came out and auditioned for a cover band that I was in, and I really hit it off with him. I loved his bass sound. Of all the people that came out to audition, he was the best. He had his shit together. He could play. Nice guy, cool cat. So I recommended him for the slot in the original band, and he got it. And we're announcing it today, I think, that he is going out with us on this next run of days. We got 2 shows with LA Guns and 1 show with Warrant, and they're all in Virginia. And I laugh every time because we played in Virginia like 4 or 5 times out of the 10 years that I've been in this band. And as soon as I moved to Ohio, and now it's an 8-hour drive instead of a local show, yeah, we got 3 shows, and they're 2 or 3 weeks apart, so I'm just going to be zipping back and forth to Virginia multiple times over the next couple of months. And I'm excited about it. Yes. So as we were planning whether we were going to stay in Virginia or move to Ohio, you know, we went back and forth multiple times, and I had burned myself out playing in 3 bands, and I had decided that I was leaving everything but the original band, and I was starting my own cover band, and I was going to be the singer, and this guy was pretty much the guy that I handpicked to be the bass player. I had a few bass player options, all talented guys, and I was going to talk to all of them, but this was the guy that I had in mind. And this was like a year and a half ago, probably. I kind of caught myself thinking just today, like, wait a minute. I was going to start a band with this guy a year and a half ago and get rolling. So why am I a year and a half later hemming and hawing and just hesitating over everything? Like, I haven't put out any singing videos. I haven't put out feelers. I've responded to a couple of ads for bands looking for guitar players, and they just haven't felt right, or they haven't responded, or whatever. Because, again, I'm in a whole new market. Nobody knows who I am. Nobody knows my reputation. So, I mean, I'll throw my hat in the ring and not even get a call. And that's fine, because my lovely wife said something to me the other day, because another ad came up that looked like it was a country band. I listened to some of the music on Spotify. It was very easy, very doable, and they were looking to tour and looking to play shows, and it seemed like a paid position. And I showed her the ad, and she said, this is the same thing. This is you taking a job in somebody else's band where you have no say, you have no input, you just show up and do the thing and leave, and you're gonna hate it. And I always tell her, and she gets so mad, but I'm like, you know, it'd be real easy to look at you and think, man, she is just one fine piece of ass, but there's brain in there. And that's so helpful to me, because I get in this mode where I'm like, I gotta do something. And when I see something that looks interesting, it looks, you know, potentially like it's got some weight to it, I'm always tempted. And so for her to remind me that that's not what I want was very good. But the question is, why am I not doing what I want? And I can give you 1,000 answers about, I don't feel ready yet. It's not the time yet. I just don't feel like clear in my gut to go for it. But I'm starting to wonder if I'm avoiding it. I'm starting to wonder if I'm not just afraid. I'm starting to wonder if I'm talking myself out of it, because I look at the patterns of behavior that I'm exhibiting. I'm not working hard towards it. I'm chasing my tail a lot. And so, granted, right now, we're about 2 weeks away from the first date with LA Guns. I need to be ready. And I did a review of an amp last week, and in that review, I told the story of how, we went out to LA during NAMM and played at House of Blues Anaheim, and I took my brand new Line 6 Stadium XL, and I spent some time crafting some tones on that thing, and when I got out there, it did not sound good. It didn't have the oomph that I was looking for. It sounded good in the room here, but when I got on stage, I was not happy with it. And that's not a knock on the product. That's a knock on me. And the other knock on me was I was not familiar enough with the device to correct it on the stage. And so I had to live with the tone. And, I'd had a tough trip anyway. Like, they lost my luggage. My flight was delayed, canceled. I missed the red carpet thing. It was a whole fiasco. And I just never really got my feet back under me while we were there. I didn't play as well as I wanted to. There was just a lot working against me on that trip. For these shows, I really want to sound good. And I have not invested the time into this that I should have. I did craft one series of tones that I kind of liked. The wife and I had a great weekend of shows and quality time together, and I bought a new amp while we were out and about. I bought a Marshall JVM 410, which has been kind of one of the holy grail amps for me for a long time. 15 years ago, I decided I was going to buy a tube head, and I went out and checked out a bunch. I went to Chuck Levin's in D.C., I played Engels, I played Diesels, I played Marshalls and Boogies and Peavies and kind of you name it. Anything they had locally and up there, I played through. And I absolutely loved the tone of the JVM 410. It was way out of range. I ended up getting a PVJSX, which was also a really great head. I still have it. The JVM 410 has a lot of versatility. It has 4 channels with 3 modes each channel. It's MIDI controllable. And that's the biggest thing for me is if I'm going to use it live, it has to channel switch effectively. And because it's MIDI controlled, then you can control all the effects in and out. You can control the patches of the head all with one push button. And that's the big thing because I don't need to be up there trying to figure out which 3 switches I need to hit in the heat of battle. So I bought the head and I love it. I don't know if I have time to get it all dialed in and functional as a complete rig in time for the first show, but I'm seriously thinking about it for the rest of the tour. The issue then becomes transporting a rig of that size. But I've been a modeler guy for pretty much my entire career. I mean, I started out with a Line 6 Pod X3 Live, which I loved. I thought it was great. I moved on to the Kemper, loved it, thought it was great. Moved on to, I actually used the Line 6 Pod Go for a lot of the cover band stuff that I was doing, and it was more than enough. Didn't even bring a wedge, man. I just ran it straight to front of the house. I was on in-ears, and it was great. Sounded good, did everything I needed it to do. I loved that Pod Go so much that I bought the OG Helix, and I never really got the Helix to sound as good as the Pod Go did. And then when the Stadium dropped, I actually pre-ordered it. And the funny thing is I pre-ordered it like 6 months before it came out. And while I was waiting to hear from the dealer that I bought it from, another dealer posted, "We have them in stock, order today, have it tomorrow." So I canceled my 6-month-old pre-order and ordered it from another retailer and had it the next day. And then I walked into another retailer and they had some 20 or 30% off coupon, anything. And I said, does this apply to the new Line 6? They're like, yeah. So I returned the one I had and bought it again for 20% off. I paid, I don't know, like $1,700 or $1,800 for this $2,200 pedal that was still not even shipping from the first place that I bought it. And so I felt pretty good about that. Tweaked it to taste and took it to LA and didn't like it. So as part of the quest for tone, I bought this Marshall, and I am going to do everything in my power to get the Stadium to sound as good as this Marshall head. And if I can't, then I am going to play shows with the Marshall head, and maybe I'll sell the Stadium. Because I know they sound good. I know people know how to make them sound good. I might just not be one of those people. I also have a lot of decisions to make about effects and routing and how I'm going to make it all work together. But I haven't played a show with a tube head in, I couldn't tell you. Even when I used the Satriani, I ran the Line 6 through it and really just kind of used it as a power amp. I could not tell you the last time I played a show through a tube amp rig, and that was the source of tone. So I'm kind of excited about that. But then I also have to think, am I just finding side quests to keep me off the main quest again. Because what it all comes back to is, why am I still sitting in the basement? Why am I not playing shows? Why am I not pursuing anything? And I don't know. I don't know if it's a fear of failure, fear of success, fear of it being exposed as not as good as I think I am. I don't know. We've been super busy. We have a lot of personal things going on. My wife's parents are having some health issues. I'm still fighting tax issues with the good old communist Commonwealth of Virginia. And, we just got new phones, and, it's exciting to get a new phone, but we switched carriers, and it has been an absolute nightmare as well. We've almost got that worked out, but I was on the phone with some banking institutions again. Pro tip for those in the know, some banking institutions actually monitor what carrier you're on. And if you try to log in on a cell phone on a different carrier, they flag it as an attempted hacking or something. So I've had to call and get my account unlocked and get them to approve my new carrier so that I can log into some of my institutions on my new AT&T phone. Who knew? Not me. But if there's a way for things to be difficult, I'm going to find it. I cut the grass this weekend, and I got the mower stuck in the ditch and hurt my back trying to get it out. And so I had a couple of days of unfortunate downtime while my tired old bones recovered. And it all just kind of plays into this fine line that I'm walking, where part of me is like, hell yeah, let's get out there, let's play some shows. Like I said, we saw 2 concerts this weekend, loved them both, looked like so much fun. Can't say that I wished that I was up there. And one of them was Jeff Tate, who I love. It was the farewell tour for Operation Mindcrime. He played Mindcrime in its entirety. He did 3 or 4 more hits, and it was a great show and a cool venue. We had such a good time, and my wife was such a good sport because she's never heard any of that. And, but she put on her little leather pants and was the hot rock and roll wifey, and I loved it. But I was, at no point was I like, man, I wish that was me. I admired the production, and I did think it would be cool to be up there, but also in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I've been up there under those lights, and it's hard to see when everything's flashing like that, and it's really easy to make a mistake. So I might even be wrestling on an inner level whether or not I really want to do this, because it's so much work, and it's so hard, and I'm old, and I'm tired, and I break a little bit. I guess maybe the bass player retiring kind of got me wondering, am I really up for doing this again week in, week out? Do I really want this? Am I avoiding this because I don't want it? Am I avoiding this because I'm scared of it? Am I not avoiding it? I'm just a lazy bum. I don't know. I don't know the answer. We go to these shows and they start at 7 and I'm like, ugh, Jeopardy's on. I could be in bed right now with a glass of warm milk. I don't know. So my focus right now is getting my shit together for these shows with my band and seeing if I enjoy it, seeing if I have fun, because I know these songs back to front. We got a new bass player, and a new member generally injects some fresh energy. I already know this guy. I already like this guy. I'm kind of excited to play some shows with him. So this will be the litmus test. What do I really want out of life? I mean, I'm having fun doing the podcast. I'm having fun doing content. I'm having fun buying gear. I bought another guitar this week. I bought that head. I got a new phone. Maybe the joy in my life is just buying shit. And if that's the case, then I just need to embrace it. I like having a lot of gear. I don't want to use it. I just want to have it. I don't think that's true. I think on some level I want to play and I want to be out there. But this will be the test, because who wouldn't want to be on stage with millions of adoring fans? I think anybody in the world would want that, even if they've never touched a guitar. The real struggle, the real balance has always been, is it worth the amount of work that it is and the amount of money that it pays? It's always been a labor of love. It's always been a passion project, because even in the best paying band I've ever been in, it was not enough to make a living. And so the point of this experiment has been, can I figure out how to make a living doing this? And do I want to? Because if I turn this into a job, maybe I will hate it like I've hated every other job I've ever had. I don't know. So there's a lot of emotional, mental, spiritual untangling that I'm working on, and I'm not getting anywhere. And so the question that burns in my mind this week is, I am about to be in a band with a guy that I was going to start a band with a year and a half ago, doing exactly what I thought I wanted to do right now. So if I was ready a year and a half ago, why am I not doing it right now? And the answer is, I don't know. But I'm going to figure it out. And the ultimate answer to that question is going to determine what I'm going to do with the rest of my life, or at least the rest of this season in which I have decided to pursue this seriously. I can't sit around here with my thumb in my ass for the rest of my life and not do anything and not make any money and not contribute to anything. So that's it. These shows are June 2nd in Leesburg, Virginia. We're with LA Guns. I think June 21st or 22nd, we're at the Beacon Theater in Hopewell, Virginia, which is pretty close to my hometown or my most recent long-term abode, Richmond, Virginia. And then July 11th, we are at Dr. Pepper Park in Roanoke with Warrant. And these 3 shows are going to be the acid test. And if I don't have a good time, if I don't have the time of my life, if I don't love this, then I have some tough choices to make. I have some decisions to make about who I am and what I really want to do. Music has been the most important thing in my life for most of my life. I've wanted to be the guitar guy or the singer since I was 5 or 6 years old. And damn near 50 years later, I'm still out here trying. I'm at a crossroads. I have to face this because I feel like if I really wanted this, I would wake up every morning excited and try. And I don't. I just don't. And I don't know what that means, but I have to figure it out. I've got a little time left to work on it, but I have all this gear and all this studio stuff, and I just don't do it, and I don't know why. The truth is out there, and I have to find it. This is the Chronicles of Shred. The good, the bad, the ugly, but it's the truth. And that is the most important thing. Because I'm either going to figure it out or I'm going to walk away clean. And hopefully some of this is helpful to other people facing similar struggles. And I will see you next time.